this retracement is exactly 30% from the top.
Yeah, right now my strategy is like not equipped for managing this type of market. So I'm one of those people that's reevaluating and thinking I need to do something different for the rest of this year and going into next year, potentially for the bear market.
Make sure you have liquidity, because when opportunities present themselves, you don't want to be scrambling and, be fully allocated.
Yeah, I honestly think that this market is not over. I think, are we closer to the end than the beginning? Hell yes. You know what I mean? And how do you know when we are much closer to the end? And that's where you will see multiple 30% corrections.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
In this week's episode, we'll be discussing why Bitcoin dropped under 90K and whether it will be the last time you'll have an opportunity to buy Bitcoin for that price. We'll also be talking about UK reforms leader Nigel Farage and his plans to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the UK and what price impact that might have. You're listening to Crypto Flip, where real money meets real talk. We're three investors managing a combined 7-figure portfolio built over 2 decades in crypto. Each episode, we break down our latest moves, dissect what's actually driving the market, and cut through the noise. We're here to bring insights from traders and investors with actual skin in the game. This is Crypto Flip. But before we move into all of those stories, what we're going to do is ease into it by looking at some crypto confessions from our favorite DJs. So let's get into it. My wife realized I lost around 37K USD that my parents gave me as a future inheritance. Promised her I won't touch crypto anymore. 4 months later, I got another inheritance of about 13K USD. Lost that too. Now she knows. Threatens to leave me and tell my parents. I don't have debt or any loans. Job generating around 2K a month. Just lost a lot of given money. But probably my marriage is over. What do you man make of that?
His wife never believed in him, bro.
Talk
from the get-go. From the get-go. What do you mean she realized like that you lost 37K and then 13 on top? That's 50 grand, bro. I'm surprised she hasn't divorced you already. I mean, maybe... Yeah, man. Maybe she's got a toy boy, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, bro, at the end of the day, it's just money. If your wife can leave you for money, bro, she was never your wife, bro. She belongs to the streets. I'm not going to lie.
She belonged to the streets. Nah, I honestly, let's be real, yeah. My thing is, at the end of the day, it's not even her money, fam. Why is she half a non-profit? I get it, like, I think, if I'm correct, what I'm trying to infer from this story is that they're struggling financially, and he's out here blowing money in crypto, and she wants it to stop. It just makes sense. But, you know what I mean, I feel like, if you're going to be married, if you're going to embark on a journey called marriage, I think you want to be married with someone that obviously believes in you, believes that you can be the future provider, even if you don't have it now, but at least you have the means to do it. So for her to be not as supportive as she needs to be, I think, it's a shame. It's a shame.
I bet, yeah, if that 50 turned to 500K, she'd be like, I always believed in you. I the fell.
Back course. Yeah, you know what though? I think that you might have done yourself a favor, you know. You might have done yourself a favor because sometimes things need to go wrong in order for you to reach your maximum potential. Now, I don't know if you're going to make a lot of money in crypto because not a lot of people do, unless you're doing the right things, especially at this point in the market. But you lost 50K. That was a gift, effectively. You know, it's not like you lost your job and you lost all your money, and you said you didn't get into any debt. So it was kind of a free hit. Yeah, I don't know how you lost it so quickly, probably perhaps some meme coins or something silly like that. But, you know, you can say that it was a learning lesson. If you had spent that 50K, you know, on education, going to uni or something, the 50K would be gone as well. So the ROI is, you know, what you've learned. And what you've learned is you need to make better choices when you choose a wife. That's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is don't go all in crypto. You need to have a bit more of a risk management profile. So I think, if you bounce back and then you make it and then you make a few hundred bags or maybe even a mil, let's just see who calls you. I have a sneaker suspicion it might be someone that you're somewhat familiar with. But let's get on to the next one. Lost all my life savings last Friday's crash. The money could have cleared my debts and taken my wife and my beautiful daughter to some fancy restaurants. Couldn't even tell her about this because it's the second time I got liquidated. Feels like everything is over for me now. Feels like I want to give up crypto. So this one is fresh off the mill.
So to give our listeners some context, obviously this conversation is related to the recent crash. I want to call it a crash, the recent pullback by Bitcoin. Don't want people out there to be panicking, but the reason why he's huffing and puffing and crying is because it was the leverage to his neck. And I feel like these leverage traders, they just don't learn. They just don't learn from, like, when are you going to learn that sometimes you're better off just hedging yourself and actually stay in this spot, right? And just leverage your portfolio and borrow money against the portfolio and then eventually get liquidated. And, ever since we've failed to kind of, surpass the previous all-time high, which was $126,000, and we corrected all the way down to 110, never reclaimed 110, lost 108. Like, why are you using leverage? Like, at what point do you think you're using leverage other than to show? And even then, I wouldn't recommend it because at the end of the day, like, leverage is just a loser's game. Because I feel like unless you're a professional, you know what you're really doing, what you're doing, you know how to kind of like manage your risk, and then you're more, I guess, intentional with your trade. Because sometimes we'll make 20 trades high leverage but using small money, but then somehow you actually just need to make a big trade and get out, right, and just hover around for an extra couple percentage. So yeah, man, like every single bull market is littered with the blood of perp traders, and they just never learn. And when they learn, they'll survive in this space. So I went for surfing at all, honestly. Like, yes, you could have taken it into a fancy restaurant, could have helped your daughter, but it's on you, fam. You got here, fix it. Don't give up, fix it.
Bruv, I read this a different way. Are you telling me the pinnacle of your life, yeah, is to take your wife and daughter to some fancy restaurants, bruv? That's the pinnacle of your existence, bruv. You're upset you lost money because you couldn't take them to a restaurant and clear some debt. And this is the second time you got liquidated. Bro, you got no risk management. Because I've been liquidated a bunch of times. My portfolio is not zero or negative. Like, if you get liquidated on an isolated trade, and if you get liquidated in a cross leverage position more than once, then bruv, you got something wrong with your head, bruv. That's the only way I can put it, because that's like you jumping off a bridge twice from the same spot and breaking both legs as you hit the floor. Hold tight, you, man. I got no sympathy for you. People like you need to be in the market so people like us can make money. So, hey, come back in again, man. Don't worry. Just take a loan next time.
Yo, do not do that. That's sarcasm, spiders. Do not do that.
I do not endorse. Definitely not financial advice and not an endorsement. But you know what? Yeah, I don't think it's the guy was thinking that, this is going to be the pinnacle if I can take my wife to a fancy restaurant. I think it looks at it like it would have been a silver lining. At least I could have done this instead with the money rather than it going back to the market itself. So that's kind of how I view it. But for this guy, you just stay away from leverage. What's wrong with spot? What? So you're not going to make 10,000% in
low money minutes? Spot is slow money, man. Just
that's
20%
problems, man.
For me, man.
No, that's people's problem.
It's too slow for me.
People have this, this generation have this TikTok mind rot. And don't get it twisted, I love TikTok, but what is done is effectively shorten people's attention span. People see people, making money so fast. If I don't become a millionaire by the time I'm 19, then I failed. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Just build slowly. Like, what's his name? I swear,
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I swear he wasn't a billionaire or even a millionaire until he was like 30 something. And maybe billionaire until he was 50 or something crazy like that. So, like, bro, you just need to slow down. I'm not saying you only have to use spot, but for your position, yeah, you only have to use spot. And just reevaluate if you're even going to get back into it, because you already sound defeated anyway, and you're already hiding it from your family. So that's never a good sign. But welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. I am your host, Harris King, and I am joined once again with my co-hosts, Ricardo and Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening on audio platforms, don't forget to leave a review because it helps us make new episodes. So this week has been nuts. For the first time in a while, we've dipped under 90K, effectively wiping out the year's gains. And, people are panicking. I think people are really looking at this bull market as winding down and, potentially even entering a bear. We're currently sitting at $91,000 as we record this episode. And people are really looking at, what the next catalyst is, what the next piece of hope that they can take to, cross that 100K barrier and regain some of what they may have lost. With that sort of drawdown below 90,000, what do you guys make of it? Do you think that's just the beginning? Do you think we're going to go further down, or do you think we're going to sort of stabilize and move sideways, or even pump from here?
Great question. I'm going to start by saying, if you have lost money in crypto this year, year to date, like since January, your general portfolio, let's say you started with $1,000. If your grand is now 500, 600, whatever, let's just say, for instance, I reckon you should reevaluate how you enter the market entirely. Because bro, it's real, because like throughout this year, we've seen some crazy things happen. It's been one of the wildest years for crypto. And I feel like I was under the impression that it's one of the wildest years for crypto because I'm watching it so hard. Like, I feel like I've been watching the market harder this year than like most years. And that's not been the reason. It's been a wild year for loads of different things. So if you are someone that started the year with X and you're X minus some percent, you need to do away with everything that you were doing this year. And you just need to rethink and think, I need to do something different. I don't know, go revisit your strategy, recreate a new strategy, something. As for do I think the market's done? I don't know. Yes, at the end of the day, I feel like right now, everyone's been saying so many different things online. People are saying, Bitcoin has dropped below 100, negative news. People are saying Bitcoin's dropped below the 50-week moving average. That's a real negative. They said that we had the death cross, and when we have the death cross, that's a signal into the new bear market. Blah 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 blah. For me right now, my bot, like even the bot that I had running, is doing some madness right now. I had to turn that off. But for me right now, do I think the market is like? Do I think we've reached top for Bitcoin already? I say maybe, probably. Like, it's not improbable. I'm not under the impression that Bitcoin's going to run to 140, 150 in the short term from here. I'm not even under the impression that it's going to touch 130 again. But, I think we might even go down and see things like 80, 75, 70 again. And if you think Bitcoin will never hit that price again, you're under some mad impression, but we just don't know when. For me, right now with the market, how it currently is, which is different from what I said last week. Yeah, I'm kind of hands off right now. I'm waiting for a clear direction in the market because the move down to 89K wiped out something like $244 million worth of longs that people had open, thinking it's going to go up to 110, 115 again, but it didn't. Right now my strategy is like not equipped for managing this type of market. So I'm one of those people that's reevaluating and thinking I need to do something different for the rest of this year and going into next year, potentially for the bear market. or at least like a sideways market. So yeah, that's me. I'm staying on the fence, and I'm not pro up or pro down. I'm just trying to see, because right now I have no idea where the market's going.
Yeah, and I mean, no one really knows where the market is going. And, you know what I mean? And if there's anyone out there that says they know where the market is going, they're telling a big fat lie. We can only speculate based on historical price action and make a best estimated guess. But this was surely like I've been saying this for the longest time. I'm only mad at myself I didn't short, but then again, shorting has its risk because I didn't want to short without using leverage, and then leverage. I mean, you see Wintermute, Binance, they love to just manipulate the market just to wipe out shorts. So
wait, hold on a second. I have to give credit, Deji some credit, because when I was looking back through when I was editing the footage, I think it was from a couple of weeks ago, you were saying, oh, you think, and I think this was when it just dipped under like 100. You said it was going to go, I think, down to 86. We haven't quite hit 86, but we dipped below 90. And yeah, it's very, very, very close to what your estimates were. So yeah, definitely shout out to Deji on that one.
No, appreciate it, because like we've touched 88 and we're still bleeding, and I think we are due for a strong bounce, and whether that bounce means 130K, I don't know. That's what we don't know. One thing I know is the bull market's not over. Like, I think everyone in there, I'm not going to speak for you, Harris, but I think from what Rick has said as well, yes, he's looking for strategy long term, try to navigate a sideways market, but I don't think he thinks the market is done as well, because if like this retracement is exactly 30% from the top, from the recent top. When have we seen a 30% retracement from a Bitcoin market before? Plenty of times. You know what I mean? What I am concerned about, though, long term, is obviously today we have the unemployment rate for US is coming out the next hour. So definitely gonna post that in the Discord channel group so you guys know what it is. I think if that is strong, if the unemployment rate is gone down, I think we get a situation where like the market starts pumping a little bit, because we are towards the end of November. We are gonna get some kind of rally, and I think all I've seen is market opportunities right now. Like some of these altcoins are insane. Like some of these altcoins, like you've seen that minus TIA, because we know that's trash already. Arweave, Link, like even Link and Hype have actually held up very strongly against the sell-off. But so as well, you know what I mean? Shout out to the new Solana ETF that's just been trading. I think we haven't covered that. Maybe we'll cover that in the next segment. But Sol is ordered up pretty good as well, but obviously significant down from its recent high of 252. So yeah, I honestly think that this market is not over. I think, are we closer to the end than the beginning? Hell yes. You know what I mean? And how do you know when we are closer, much closer to the end? And that's where you will see multiple 30% correction. Pump another, first say from here, hypothetically speaking, and this is not financial, right? Let's say we pump from 88K or 86K. We pump all the way to, let's say, 140 plus. And then we have a little sideways action. We go back up to 150 and from a double top again, and come back down to where we literally are right now. Like that is that like you should be selling your bags back there, because if he fails to rally back up to the previous return or the recent all-time high, and then forms another lower low, then that's another multiple 30% correction, which means the bull market is over. But I don't think we haven't got that correction yet. Like right now, the bull market structure is fully intact. And that's why I don't understand why people are crying. And people that are crying are people that are obviously leveraged and then they've been wiped out. I think that's what's happening. A lot of the noise are coming from people that are leverage traders and they just can't help themselves. And I understand the temptation to use leverage is so strong. Trust me, it is. But when you can get wrecked so easily in this market, I mean, you know what I mean? Everything's uncertain. Like, and then we looks at AI tech might be cooling off. Yes, Kiwi starting soon, but I don't know, man. I think, yeah, 200K Bitcoin is definitely on the card. It's not on the cards in my prediction. I think that I'm gonna stick to my target of 140 to 150K of Bitcoin. So I think the next rally, which could start any day now, or any week now. It's probably the last one we get a proper enjoyment. So these altcoins are good to long. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I mean, I'm seeing Sui at or $1.62. Hype is obviously hype. Obviously, Sol's 141. Rune is 71 cents. Objective is $6, man. Mia is $2.34. This is crazy.
Yeah, the mark.
Yeah,
The
it's crazy. These altcoins are phenomenal. Like, this is when you want to be long in this bag. This is when you want to be accumulating spot. No, leverage, because we might not be done bleeding. But like I said, we have a destiny with the 200-day SMA, and that's roughly around 63K. But I don't think we're going there straight away. I think we're going to get a strong bounce soon between now and that 84K range. I don't see us sweeping the 73K. I think that would make a lot of people panic. And I think where we'll probably bounce is like 84K range, 86K range. I think that's where we bounce. And that's literally pretty soon. Like, we've already kind of touched 88. So let's see what happens. Harris.
Yeah. For me personally, the way I'm looking at the market is you have to know when to be offensive and you have to know when to be defensive. And for me, right now, it's the time to be defensive because we're bearish. Whether or not we're in a bull market or not, that's a different discussion. I still think we are in a bull market, yes. But I think we're just in a bearish period within the bull market. And I think what that means is you have to forget about leverage and all of that stuff. I mean, personally, I don't touch leverage anyway, but I think if you're going to be in spot, the best thing to do right now is just to keep your eyes on the market and also to make sure you have liquidity, because when opportunities present themselves, you don't want to be scrambling and be fully allocated. So having stables on the sidelines, I think is a good idea. Because you really want to be trading momentum, and in this type of market, at least anyway, where it's a little bit more unpredictable. So when things turn more bullish and, you could see strong trends to a bullish upside, then, yeah, I would feel a lot more confident in, deploying capital and taking advantage of that. But for right now, I'm just looking, seeing if there's any opportunities. In the altcoin side of things, it's still pretty quiet. Obviously, a lot of things are discounted or just going to zero, more or less. So yeah, I think it's there's opportunities, but you just have to still stay plugged in. Now is not the time to be like, oh, okay, Bitcoin's down, I'll come back in a month or two when it's back up. By then, a lot of the gains may have already been gone, so you still have to stay plugged in. But one thing I want to explore is Campbell Winklevoss, the Gemini co-founder, said this will be the last time you'll ever be able to buy Bitcoin for under 90K. Do you think that's true, or do you think he's just guessing?
Gas bag. I tell you what, yeah, like anytime someone that is loaded in such asset is shouting from the top of the roof, from the top of Twitter, last time you're gonna be able to get Bitcoin under 100K, so buy. What do you think he's trying to do? He's infinitely, yes. He's trying to pump his back. That's what he's trying to do. I'm like, these noises are irrelevant, fam. Like, I'm sorry, like, obviously the Winklevoss have more Bitcoin than I do. Like, if I see them, man, I'm gonna ask them to give me some Bitcoin. But yeah, all I'm saying is, do I think Bitcoin's gonna go to 250K eventually one day? Yes, I think so. We could be 2033, could be 2040, who knows? As if we don't nuke ourselves first.
Yeah, nobody knows. It's just a game of likelihood. But I don't think that is true. I think that if we're saying that we're still in a bull market, we're just bearish at the moment, then in the bear market, what's Bitcoin going to look like? It could touch 60K. It could touch 60, 70. I would expect it to be somewhere in that range. So, yeah, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. But something that people should be paying attention to is Nigel Farage, because he claims that if he is elected as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he will launch a Bitcoin reserve fund where he'll be accumulating Bitcoin for the UK. Do you think this will have a positive effect on the Bitcoin price, or what are your overall thoughts on this?
No positive effect, bro. This has made no difference to the price of Bitcoin. This is like, let me tell you what this is the equivalent of doing. This is the equivalent of a man going into a strip club, winking at a stripper and saying, yeah, she's going to be married someday. Your week made no difference to her life, bro. Like, none of that made any difference. So, hold tight, Nigel Farage, for thinking he's moving a needle here, but the only needle he's moving is, I don't know, his old friend thinking, yeah, that night, yeah, he's got good Bitcoin knowledge. I'm going to go to him and put some, I don't know, bro. But you're not moving the market at all with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how much he would look to put in, but I just know that the UK is broke, so probably not much.
Wait, no. I would not stand for this barrage. Man. Let me defend UK for a minute. Yeah, actually, I can't still because, yeah, I mean, you guys are right. I don't think you'll have any effect on BTC because, one, I don't think he's going to get elected. I'll be shocked. Two, even if he does get elected, like the population that we have here, like he's not going to move lower than 0.5% of the percentage. Like we're not going to go up by another percentage, I don't think. If let's say 1% of the UK is already invested, I don't know the true stats, but let's just say for argument's sake, 2%. I don't think he's going to move the needle to 3% because, one, this country, the culture that is built on the foundation that England was built on is a very conservative culture. And they don't know things like, bro, they're still censoring it from AI side. They're the one that's got pumped up from and then they got FCA chasing people that want to lose their money. Let them lose their money, fam. Why are you blaming people from wanting to chuck away their hard earned money that work for? So, yeah, like I just don't think this is just a pie in the sky. Him trying to get elected, taking a page out of Donald Trump's book, but I don't think UK is not known for having a huge crypto cult following anyway. So I don't know. I'm surprised he's even trying this. I don't even think it's digital asset initiative is not even on their agenda. You know what I mean? Like, let me ask you a better question here. Did you know that UK are so drastically that they're now less attractive than Pakistan, some African countries to do an IPO? Like, let that sink in. They're now on the top 100. They're now 33rd from like a decade ago before Brexit, when they were like, I think they were like top 10 for IPO destinations. Now, people want to build their dreams and go public. Hell no, not in the UK. Let's go somewhere else. So that's messed up. So like, yeah, there's no hope around. When it comes to innovation, the UK is not always the front one. They're usually like at the last line, and that's what I think. I mean,
UK is a third world country, bro.
It's a third world country with a Gucci belt. Trust me. But but you know what? Yeah, no.
I'm dead.
I'm dead. I don't think you'll move the needle for Bitcoin itself, because if, let's assume in one reality that he gets elected and he puts the initiative forward and they vote for it and they say, yes, we're going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. What they may do is they may do something similar to what America has done in that they won't inject any capital. They'll just seize Bitcoin, and they seize a lot of Bitcoin. So maybe something like that could happen.
Yeah, didn't they seize the crypto Bitcoin from Crypto Queen? She got arrested in bed.
Yeah, she had 5 billion worth of crypto. So that's a good start.
Wild, by the way. How can she get caught in bed for that? Was wild, but yeah, I'll leave another day.
Did you man see the video?
Yeah, I do.
Sit back. Sorry, I know you're just in bed, but I'm to rest now.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is it's mad. But yeah, I think it'll be something closer to like what America has done in that they won't inject any fresh capital, and overall, what that means for like regular investors, I don't think it'll mean too much. The only positive that I would take, or the main positive that I would take, is that it may shift people's mindsets in the UK, which would be a positive thing. And what I mean by that is, as Deji was saying, people are traditionally quite conservative when it comes to investments and other things in the UK. So obviously with the housing, the way it's going, and them introducing a bunch of bills saying that, you can't do this, you can't do that, and, effectively slashing profitability for property, which is one of the main vehicles that people use to make money in the UK. I think it could open some people's eyes to think, oh, the UK government's doing this. Maybe I should actually buy some Bitcoin. So I think that could be interesting and to see what the effects of that is. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one.